8th grade moving up ceremony. Please remain standing for America the Beautiful.
Good morning. I would like to welcome the members of the Board of Education. President O'Keefe, Mrs. Gottlieb, and the administration. Dr. Mustick, Dr. Bucci, Dr. Ferraro, Dr. Lutinsky, Mrs. Longabucco, Mrs. Babcock, Ms. Santangelo, Mrs. Wallace, and Mr. Seglia. For the past 3 years, those of us standing up here today have gone through the worthy quest we call middle school. For many of us, when we first started this mighty quest in 6th grade, we began our adventure not knowing what was to happen to us next, or what to do. Over time, though, many of us discovered our own ways and methods of going through middle school, much like every good adventure does. However, looking back over the last 3 years, there is some advice I wish we would have known to help us earlier in our journeys. In fact, I'm sure we were told some of it, we just weren't ready to listen. We should have known from the start to use our voices and not to be afraid to speak up. For some of us, this is easy, as we might have talked a little too much during class. However, during many classes, quite a few people remained silent, even if they knew the correct answer or wanted to say something. No matter what, it is always important to have our voices heard, and not to be afraid to speak up in front of others. Even when some people might criticize you for what you have to say, you should be strong enough to express yourself. This is very important to know, since as we grow, we will continue to learn there will always be people who form opinions about what we have to say. But the only opinion that should matter to you is your own. What we have learned is you should always believe and have confidence in what you have to say, no matter what anybody else thinks. We have also learned how important it is to be more independent and overall, just plainly be yourself. I learned this piece of advice by looking around and noticing people following crowds and not being themselves. People began behaving a certain way so others would accept them. Seeing this, I thought to myself, why be somebody or not, just so others will like you? As we mature, we begin to develop our own styles and thoughts that others might find different. It is important to be true to ourselves. In the future, it will be who we really are to get this far in life, and not some fake disguise we use just to please others. We should not want to be anything other than ourselves. One of the last things I would have wanted to know was not to be afraid to try new things. Now, when I say this, I don't mean to go out and do the dumbest thing you can think of. What I mean by this is don't judge new things you encounter with a negative attitude, but instead, try them with enthusiasm. There are many things in this world that we have yet to encounter and know about being eighth graders. We should not just dismiss them and push them away, but instead, give them a try. As we do not know when one small thing will lead to something much greater. As our middle school quest ends, our journey has been filled with many lessons. What we have learned in middle school will serve us well in high school. It will be a major step to us filled with many opportunities. We must never forget to speak up, be independent, try new things, as we embark on our new quest and into the exciting realm of the high school.
It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Mustig, Superintendent of Schools.
Thank you. Good morning. Aren't we all glad we're indoors and not outside on the fields? You all look terrific. Thank you. Oh, you look amazing this morning. Could we give our graduates a round of applause? Actions in life can be reduced to two factors: persistence and timing. If we're not in the right place at the right time, and we're not prepared, we can't possibly take advantage of what life has to offer. This story from our history is one that I'm certain you're familiar with, but I hope it helps you remember this special day. The time was 1400s, the place Spain, one of the wealthiest nations in the world, one of the most seaworthy. That might not seem like very much today, but sea travel was king, and Spain was the marketplace for it. That meant that there were many experts living and working in Spain, and it was the epicenter of world trade and travel. All the experts agreed. They were certain that the world was indeed flat, and that a faster route to the West Indies, one that would avoid sailing around Europe, was impossible. So they concentrated on other things and were satisfied with the existing trade routes. Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand, the royal family of Spain, however, were not so convinced that the so-called experts of the time were actually correct. In fact, there was a lot of evidence that the Queen was really the one that disagreed with the flat world theory. The story is told that she was so convinced that she offered to sell her jewelry to fund a voyage. She was obviously committed, focused, and persistent to see that her dream be realized. So the story begins. She put her faith in a young man, an Italian, who by all accounts was really a nobody, but certainly clearly focused, convincing, and persistent. He said to her, "I can make it happen." This is quite a test of faith. All you needed to do was to look out and see that the world was flat. So obviously. So the Columbus adventure, however, is one of the best illustrations of discovery. Originating from a hypothesis, his voyage has many features of a classic discovery in science. He was obsessed with an idea. The idea was by no means original. He met great difficulties in getting someone to provide the funds to enable him to test his idea and to carry out the experimental voyage. When he finally succeeded, he didn't find the expected result, but a whole new world. And despite all the evidence to the contrary, he clung to his hypothesis. He got very little credit during his life, nor did he realize the full implication of his discovery. Since his time, evidence has been brought forward showing that his theory was indeed correct, even though it meant that he had to press through the New World to accomplish it. Columbus persisted to his death, and he made the discovery of a lifetime, one that opened new opportunities for people to dream. He took actions that would change the world forever. Almost anything is appropriate if an action is in accord with the time and place, but we must be vigilant and prepared. Even if the time and place were right, we can miss our chance if we do not notice the moment, if we act inadequately, or if we hamper ourselves with doubt and second thoughts. Remember that behind every great man stands a great woman, probably one with drive, and in this case a lot of jewelry, to make his dreams come true. Over the next 4 years, you're going to be presented with many new and exciting opportunities. You must be ready to seize them without hesitation or inhibition. Positioning, however, is useless without awareness, so be alert, choose wisely, and be ready to make the most of every opportunity you encounter, even the ones that give you a choice between a pineapple and a hare. Best of luck and congratulations to the class of 2012.
Please welcome Dr. Latinsky, principal of the middle school.
Good morning. This speech was inspired by my dog. I brought him to the groomer to get washed, clipped, and whatever else they do. As soon as we walked in, a lady exclaimed, "Theodore, your muzzle's getting gray." She turned to me and said, "How old is he now?" I said, 5. Then I stopped and said, "No, wait, maybe 6. Can't be 5, it's gotta be 6. And then I thought, how did he get to be 6 already? I thought he was still a puppy. And that made me think of you guys. But this isn't about aging pets, or the fact that your parents are probably sitting out there right now thinking, I can't believe they're going to high school. Today I'm talking about how time flies, and therefore about the value of planning and action. The passage of time is inexorable, and too often elders like me say, if I only knew then what I know now. So that's my wisdom for this morning. A little planning and avoiding procrastination will make you more effective at what you do, give you more freedom to make your own decisions, and leave you more time for things like fun and family. There are many cliches that feature that advice, like, he who hesitates is lost. I think Columbus knew that, that's why he did so well. Some of them are in Latin. I spent 4 years in high school taking Latin, and the phrase I remember most is semper ubi sub ubi, which loosely translates into always wear underwear. But that's not my topic. More to the point, you may have heard of carpe diem, or seize the day. Seize the day means take control, do something, be active. You'll frequently find that when you take control of yourself, other people don't have to. In terms of your life as a high school student, that means taking your coursework seriously and getting assignments done without someone pushing you. Seizing the day might mean starting a long-term project soon after it was assigned, avoiding the panic associated with an empty printer cartridge the night before the due date. Seizing the day might mean approaching your teacher about how to improve your grade before that moment when mom or dad looks on the parent portal and calls you over to discuss things. Or seizing the day could mean getting your course requests in so you don't have to sit for a whole semester in your second choice. High school is one of the last opportunities for you to practice seizing your day before the results of procrastination become too permanent. You'll still get second chances, but they become less frequent and the stakes are higher. Once you step off this campus into college or work, the results of delay become serious. Not carpeing your diem might mean missing a financial aid deadline or an opportunity for that scholarship you were eligible for. Or you might be a less attractive candidate for a job because there are things on your resume that are missing or incomplete. I almost jeopardized graduating college on time because I transferred in the middle of my freshman year but delayed counting my credits. When I finally did and found myself one class short of graduating, I delayed again. Instead of making it up early, I waited, then had to take a course in the summer between junior and senior year when I should have been busy earning money and having fun. Sitting in a summer class with no air conditioning while my friends were elsewhere. It was miserable, just plain dumb. But there are rewards for seizing the day, not just penalties for missed deadlines. Americans can be very vocal about freedom, independence, and the right to make choices. However, it's the happy Americans, the successful Americans, who can actually enjoy their freedoms rather than just declaring it's their right to have them. You have an excellent starting point for your future. You have the benefits of a great public education system. Your parents have given you a home in an area with a high standard of living. And although the economy might not be the best right now, it rewards innovation and creativity. But don't lay back and wait for things to come to you. Opportunity might knock, but if you're still in bed, you won't hear it. Seize your day and look for that internship or that summer job, because that might be your future. If you wind up doing something you don't like, those who act early have the chance to try again. Freedom, independence, and choice become vehicles for opportunity, success, money, happiness, or whatever you're looking for, instead of mere words. As we come together to celebrate your moving up to high school, you'll hear people saying the same thing over and over again. Wow, this year really flew by. Well, as the Romans said, tempus fugit, time flies. Maybe not like dog years, but you're finished with the 8th grade already, and high school is only 4 years long. I hope you look back on your middle school years and say, I really got a lot accomplished, or I'm glad I did that. If instead you look at others with envy because they have something you don't, or if you say, I wish I hadn't waited, then know now what I wish I knew then. Don't procrastinate. Make it a habit to act. Time may fly, but you still have plenty of time to grow up and become successful. Seize your day, think for yourself, and plan ahead. So, carpe diem, because tempus fugit. And it's always good advice, semper ubi sub ubi. Thank you, and now we have a special message.
I have really treasured my time at Rhinebeck Middle School. Throughout my 3 years here, I have dealt with the struggles, overcome the challenges, enjoyed my successes, and embraced the triumphs. I have learned the importance of independence, effort, attitude, and hard work. While I will remember middle school for all of its good times, I have also learned some valuable lessons for the future. I think I speak for everyone when I say that procrastination is something we wish we could avoid. I do not have enough fingers to count how many times I have suffered from it. I mean, there it was, 11:30 on Sunday, the night before the speech was due, and I was just getting started. Other times, my cat would refuse to leave my lap, and I would just give in and put my homework aside. Before I knew it, it was late at night. My cat would yawn and go off to sleep. I, on the other hand, would be left with a mountain of homework. If only I was aware of the effects of procrastination. Never put things off until tomorrow. I would remind my 6th grade self to take advantage of the school's extracurricular activities. Rhinebeck offers fantastic clubs, and there are excellent music programs. Also, we had the opportunity to join sports, which is what appealed to me the most. My times on the soccer, track, and lacrosse teams have been some of my best experiences in middle school. I learned the importance of responsibility, dedication, and teamwork while having the time of my life. The point, however, is not that I was running around on a field. It's that I was spending time doing things that I love. It does not matter what activity you take part in, as long as you pursue something that interests you. Do what you love. It makes all the difference. Staying true to yourself is something that every middle school student should consider. I remember telling myself during the first days of middle school that I would be my own person, no matter what. Even now, as I'm finishing middle school, I would still give this advice. I have never let others change me. However, the only thing I would even consider altering would be my participation in classes. I have had a lot of things on my mind that have been left unsaid. I so clearly remember a time in English class when we were discussing the book Speak. I had something I wanted to bring to the table, but was too timid to burst right out and say it. In fact, I walked out of the room feeling like a fool, for what I was going to say dealt with the necessity for the narrator to speak up. Therefore, I would suggest not to leave things unsaid. The final piece of advice that I would give myself if I was entering the middle school again would be not to take a single moment for granted. Some days were ordinary as I rushed to complete them. However, now I realize nothing was ordinary, and every day has contributed to the milestone of middle school. After all, eating a double chocolate muffin at the crack of dawn in the cafeteria can be life-changing, right? I have enjoyed all of my time spent with my supportive coaches, wonderful teachers, and fantastic friends. I am so glad I could experience everything, ranging from a good grade on a test to scoring a goal on the soccer field. Before you know it, though, those moments are gone, and we have to move on. I am so grateful that I enjoyed them while I had the chance. I cannot believe that our time at Rhinebeck Middle School is finished. There are so many things that I would tell myself before beginning middle school again. I mean, if only I could have remembered that jacket as I rushed out the door for the freezing 6th grade classrooms, even though it was 80 degrees outside. Most importantly, though, we have learned valuable lessons. Don't leave things for the last minute. Always do what you love. Remember to say what's on your mind, and enjoy every moment presented to you. After all, the years spent here go by so fast. And now, just like that, we are about to enter the high school. As we leave the comfort of the middle school, we are well prepared for the array of challenges and opportunities that we will encounter in high school. I would like to wish my classmates the best of luck, and congrats to the Rhinebeck Middle School class of 2012.
I should have timed it better and not followed Allison. Thank you, Allison. I have noticed, and parents and teachers, maybe you have too, that some of the 8th graders can be a bit forgetful. So I thought it would be best to remind them of what they did in middle school. This is the abridged version. In the long ago days of 6th grade, you entered middle school unaware of what awaited you. You rushed into the year with your own goal in mind, or maybe you had no idea what you wanted to accomplish. You visited ancient Rome and created cell towns, and teachers challenged you to do your best. Hopefully, what you began to discover, or maybe didn't realize until this moment, is that sometimes the hard work you put in is even more important than the grade. The greasers were challenged by the socias, and you learned that nothing gold can stay. You clung to your friends, or maybe found a new friend just waiting to lend a hand. And that's when you realized that true friends really are gold. You played on teams and celebrated wins. You shared interests by joining new clubs. You began to understand there were many new opportunities waiting for you at Rhinebeck, and you were going to try as many as you could. You designed inflatable shapes in your final days of 7th grade and learned that planning and teamwork really do pay off. 8th grade arrived and you thought you were ready for your final year of middle school. But what you didn't know was we were ready to make sure it was a year you wouldn't forget. Our first trip to Boston was a success. Even the Yankee fans enjoyed Fenway Park. Well, most of them did. And you learned one person can make a difference, whether refusing to give up her seat on a bus or having the courage to see things through no matter what. You studied the impact you had on your environment and consciously decided to make better choices. The moral of the story was pineapples don't have sleeves. Or maybe it was that even standardized tests aren't so standard. You discovered variables change the outcome of equations, and you too changed. Your likes and dislikes, your voices, your hair, and you grew and grew. And just yesterday you learned that good enough is not good enough. Now you sit in front of us ready to move on to high school and all the opportunities that go with it. But before you go, we would like to recognize your achievements, because hard work will be rewarded, and that you should never forget. I would like to invite the 8th grade teachers and Mr. Seglia to the stage. We're going to present some awards to the 8th graders right now, and I ask that you hold your applause until the end. Mr. Seglia will present the 3 sport awards. When you hear your name, please come down to receive your award. Yuha Ambe. Allison Ball. Lucas Bruno. Noah Kaplan. Kayla Cassis. Edward Cohen. Chris Colangelo. Eileen DeMarco. Andrea Domalanta. Aliana Domalanta. Katie Frioli. Yui Kakagawa. Sabrina Cates. Allison Lemoyne. Connor Layden. Sabrina Llanos. Annie Mashapinto. Natalie Morelli. Thomas O'Shea. Rosella Salanitro. Connor Sexton. And Olivia Weiss. Thank you, Mr. Seglia. And now we have some subject-specific awards. Excellence in English goes to Tessa McSweeney. Achievement in English as a second language goes to Shiyoshi Yoshino and Felipe Silva. Excellence in Regents Algebra, Yui Kakagawa. Excellence in Math 8, Stephen DeRose. Excellence in Regents Biology, Bruno Goncalves. Excellence in Science 8, James Skian. Excellence in Social Studies, Michael Miranda. Excellence in French, non-native speaker, Sabrina Cates. Excellence in Italian, native speaker, Cassandra Sturbins. Excellence in Italian, non-native speaker, Katie Frioli. Excellence in Spanish, native speaker, Zachary Tenner. Excellence in Spanish, non-native speaker, Victoria Scaff. Excellence in Art, Ed Gibbs. Outstanding Musician in Band, Katie Frioli. Outstanding Contribution to Band, Michael Miranda. Outstanding Musician in Chorus, Thais Machado. Outstanding Contribution in Chorus, Ashlyn Ibarra. Outstanding Musician in Strings, Yuha Ambe. Outstanding Contribution in Strings, Victoria Scaff. Outstanding Achievement in Theater Arts, Ed Gibbs. Outstanding Performance in Theater Arts, Victoria Scaff. Most Consistent Effort in Middle School, John Paul. Most Improved Throughout Middle School, Maria Aiello. Thank you, teachers. Dr. Latinsky, I'd like to ask you to hand out a few of these awards. These students have been on the high honor roll for all of 7th and 8th grade. Allison Ball. Tessa McSweeney. And Zachary Tenner. The award for overall academic excellence goes to Allison Ball. And the principal's award for character goes to Maria Angulo. Dr. Mustick will present the last couple of awards we have. The first is a certificate of special congressional recognition for service to the community. Julia Wright. The State of New York Comptroller's Award for Academic Excellence and Civic Commitment go to two young men. The first is Tom Collins. And the next, Zachary Tenner. And the final award is the Attorney General's Triple C Award for Character, Courage, and Commitment. It goes to Andrea Domalanta. Thank you, Dr. Mustick. Dr. Lutinsky will now present the certificates to the 8th graders. We ask that you please hold your applause until the end. Matthew Aber. Yes. Miss Reynolds. Maria Aiello. Sabrina Albanese. Sydney Allison. Yuha Ambe. Maria Fernanda Angulo. Erin Aquino. Christian Axisa. Emilio Ayala. Allison Ball. Jack Bauer. Nicholas Beer. Gianna Bevilacqua. Felix Biawet. Julia Blondell. Lyric Bonds. Catherine Brennan. Lucas Bruno. Craig Busby. Jake Calcagney. Noah Kaplan. Frank Caparelli. Kayla Cassis. Nicole Catanzariti. Mark Ginciulli. Edward Cohen. Christopher Colangelo. Thomas Collins. Ashley Colon. Lucas Corona. Anna Costa. Dina Das. Bianca Da Silva. Eileen DeMarco. Jacqueline DeSico. Stephen DeRose. Robert Dignelli. Aliana Domalanta. Andrea Domalanta. Alexis Espada. Melissa Fay. Erica Feldman. Daniel Felix. Christina Frioli. Katie Frioli. William Galliano. Gerardo Galvez. Jasmine Garcia. Melanie Garcia. Edward Gibbs. I'd like to ask Mrs. Glennon to come to the stage to accept a certificate on behalf of her daughter, Michelle. Bruno Goncalves. Julia Gutterman. Dylan Haugenes. Lydia Ibarra. Arthur Jacques. Autumn Jewell. Yui Kakigawa. Sabrina Cates. Julia Kelly. Elida Konigsberger. Matthew Copey. Charlene Kwong. Allison Lemoyne. Connor Layden. Sabrina Llanos. John Luiso. Corey Malkin. Annie Mashapinto. Teresa McSweeney. Carly Merrill. Philip Michelizzi. Michael Miranda. Jasmine Mora. Lucia Morera. Natalie Morelli. Thais Nascimento Machado. Thomas O'Shea. Arthur Parham. John Paul. Gabby Prado. Jasmine Reyes. Lauren Richmond. Leslie Rios. Joseph Sabia. Rosella Salanitro. Nicholas Santoyani. Evelyn Scott. Sarah Sensi. Connor Sexton. Felipe Silva. Victoria Scaff. James Skian. Cassandra Sturbins. Lars Stockard. Adam Zamborski. Eric Temple Copy. Zachary Tenner. Alexis Tucker. Linda Valdez. Nicholas Valarelli. Nicholas Vallejos. Daniel Villegas. Benjamin Weinstock. Olivia Weiss. Mike Wong. Julia Wright. Nicole Yanuzzi. Shiyoshi Yoshino. And Sabrina Zhang.
High School graduating class of 2016.
Please stand while the class of 2012 exits the auditorium.